Okay, YouTube, so I've got a review for you, and this is Sevendust Cold Day Memory. This came out in 2010, and it went into the alternative metal category, which is pretty much the pathway of most rock artists once the luxury and novelty of new metal wore off. Now, this didn't happen immediately, but it was somewhere between the years of 2005 and 2009. Some of them did earlier. Limp Bizkit did this, and I think Trapped did this, and some of them also went in the direction of just heavy metal, but this is one of said groups that did things. A couple of their early records like Seasons, Animosity, and I think Home, that came out in 1999 by Sevendust. These were chock full of hits, and the thing about this group is that they've managed to get at least 2 hits on almost every one of their albums, and they've dropped quite a few. They haven't really taken that many years off. They were there in 1990. They were there in 1999, they were there in 2003, they were pretty much there almost every year in between, so they've dropped 10 albums since 1997, so that should let you know. 3 of their albums have went gold, which means, once again, they sold 500,000 copies. So what to expect from this group? The biggest problem with this group is they do not really have, like, the monumental songs that charted, such as In the End by Linkin Park, or Butterfly by Crazy Town, Freak on a Leash, these type songs. They may not have a hit as strong as that, but once you get to know rock, these guys should be like a pretty good relative for you to know pretty well. So I wanted to pick an album. The library also did not have terribly much earlier from Sevendust, so I decided, well, I wanted to get past the year 2007 with my reviews, but I also wanted to see if the music in the 2010s decade was good, so I picked up this record. Lo and behold, one of the reasons why was because this is one of their biggest albums in terms of how many singles it had. So the first song to know is Unraveling. Now, the thing about this is it's not too much of a metal, it's more alternative metal, and it's a song that I think is good to go. It shouldn't take that much getting used to unless you're just more of a hard rock fan versus some other stuff. So I'm going to explain that. Basically, the song Last Breath and Confessions are a few other songs that are more alternative metal. A lot of the best parts of this CD are in the first half, but really there was only 4 songs out of 12 that I did not enjoy. So there were 4 singles. The other ones are Forever, Last Breath, and Ride Insane. Now, Ride Insane's a rougher song, and it's good to see them doing that. I like the idea of it. I only own one Sevendust album, which is Home, and it's just like Denial, basically, but they kind of tend to make more songs like Waffle on this record, so big thing there. Forever was kind of in between. That one, just the faintness of the guitar in that was something I wasn't expecting, but it's another hit, and I'm appreciating the fact that they managed to hit 3 different times. So that's really the first and foremost thing, is just the quality of how well they did it. Now, the only problem with it is they have so many hits, it's kind of difficult trying to weed out their best moments. Like, it's not as easy as with Korn, where you can say, well, some of their best moments was between like 1998 and 2002. With Sevendust, it's kind of scattered all over the place. So they got like 4 or 5 different hits in just about any portion of the decade, and the previous decade, and this one. So you really do have to own most of their albums to get everything. It probably would be wise to get a greatest hits by them right about now. But so yeah, out of 12, I'm going to list the 8 songs that I enjoyed. So, Splinter, Forever, Unraveling, Last Breath, Ride Insane, Better Place, Strong Arm Broken, and Confessions. Now, Unraveling, Last Breath, Confessions are the alternative metal. Forever is kind of a in-between. It's kind of a mid-tempo song. Splinter and Strong Arm Broken are some of the rougher ones, but they actually don't take this approach too terribly much. And the other 4 I mentioned, you'll have to listen to figure out, but when I listened to it initially, I didn't enjoy them. So this album is going to get an 8.5 out of 10. So I liked how it went. It had the proper promotion, had just enough, backing to it to where it's not forgettable, and it actually is, an above average release for rock this decade. We don't talk about classics until it's been several years, but I think, 2010, early 2010 when this came out, it's safe enough to say that this is definitely above average and, something that you should own, not just, it may not be a classic, but it's definitely one that you don't want to ignore. And the social score, I will give a 7 out of 10 because it did have 3 charting songs, but I don't know if it didn't have promotional singles and the 4th single didn't chart. So it's kind of, anytime there's just 3 songs, that can mean, well, they might chart next time, they might not. So it just is hard enough getting their foot in the door to make them, juggernauts versus just, getting 1 or 2 and just staying afloat, which is kind of what it seems, because the highest qualification that any of their records received is a gold rating. So, but don't ignore this music once again. Can this record be topped? Not by much. And The Future, they dropped an album in 2015. So subscribe for more fun.